Hello and welcome to another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
And I'm Chris Costa.
So Chris, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I thought we could look at the cost center view, specifically in new schedule.
Sure. Let's talk just for a minute about what you can do in that view that's a little bit different.
Sure.
In the cost center view, there's a couple things you can do that you can't do in the Gantt view, which we looked at in last week's video.
Right.
The cost center view will actually let you highlight multiple processes for either the same job or multiple jobs. And you can then complete those processes, or you can even move those processes. So you're moving multiple processes or cost centers at a time,
Sure.
rather than just one at a time.
Right.
When you do it from the Gantt view, you can only do it one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay, sure. Can we take a look? Yeah?
Sure.
Okay.
So I have scheduling opened here. Let me just maximize it. So I'm in the Gantt view now, cost center view. And this opens up the cost center view. From here, I can pick a cost center that I want to take a look at. So say I want to look at my pre-press cost center. And when it opens up, it first shows you all jobs loaded for that cost center. I can also pick a date range. So say I want to look at maybe today and the next couple of days. So I'll look out through June 1st. I select my dates and hit the refresh, and it will show me just the jobs for that time frame. From here, I can select multiple jobs. So say I want to select job 4084, and by holding the shift key down, I can select from there all the way down to job 4051. Or I can select 4084 and hold the control key down and just select another one like 4051. With the job selected, I can then right click and I can either complete the jobs or I can move the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's letting me move more than one at one time.
Okay.
Okay.
If I do move a job, is that going to reschedule the rest of the job too?
Actually, it does not.
Okay.
What it will do is it'll move the job to that new time period, and then it will leave everything else alone.
Okay.
If you want to reschedule the items for the remaining items in that job, then you need to do that from the Gantt view and do it one at a time.
Okay.
And if you remember from last week, when you move an item in the Gantt view, it'll ask if you want to reschedule all the items.
Sure.
So let's do a move and we'll look at that.
Sure.
So say in this case I want to move, I'm going to move 4085 and 4084, and say I want to do those two jobs after 4051. I would right click, select Start Move Item, then highlight the job that I want to move them after, right click again and say End Move Items. And then it moves everything down. And you'll notice now that it didn't ask me, do you want to reschedule the rest of it, like it does in the Gantt view.
Sure. Can I pick the time I want to move it, or does it just drop it specifically right after the next one?
Well, if you just right click and say End Move Item, it drops it right after. But you can select the time and the day if you want to. Let's take a look at that.
That'd be good.
So if I take this job, 4079, I can right click on it. I can choose Start Move Items. And then I can pick a job I want to move it after, right click and choose End Move Items. But then I can also move to select date and time.
Mm-hmm.
And here I can pick a start date and a start time and click on the schedule button and have it move. And you'll notice this little warning that it will not reschedule the dependent processes after that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just like I said, just as if you had dropped it and it doesn't. If you want to reschedule it again, you have to do it from the Gantt view.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. I guess just one other question. What if I want to move a job from one press to another?
Absolutely, and you can do one or more than one. That's another advantage in the cost center view, because you could take two jobs scheduled on one press and move them to another press.
Sure. Okay.
So let's take a look at that.
Okay, good.
I'm going to cancel here. So let's move to a press process. Let me go down to my 2-color press, where I have a job scheduled here. And say I want to move this to my 4-color press. I can right click, I can choose, let me just go cancel my move. I was in the middle of a move before. Let me right click and choose Start Move Items. Now I can go over to my 4-color press, select where I want to put it. I can right click and choose End Move Items, and it will drop that job on that press.
Okay.
Same thing you could do in the Gantt chart. You could also drag it from one cost center to another, but again, you can only do one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any other questions?
No, I think that was very good.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
And I'm Chris Costa.
Please look forward for more to come.